So I was at the store this morning and I saw something that should give everyone pause. In a rational society, this would be a national scandal. So near the checkout line at the local price chopper where I live at, there's a sign that says 1 out of 4 children are set to go hungry. And the big headline was uh, no school equal no lunch. They also mentioned raising for student loan. It's I saw this and it shocks you because you realize that we live in a failed system. We live in a failed society. Any society that allows 1 out of 4 kids to go hungry because they don't have a student lunch. The fact that even without the student lunch, these kids will go hungry. 1 out of 4 kids live in poverty in America. I don't know how anyone can come to the conclusion that capitalism isn't a objectively failed system. This is a system that crashed twice before I turned 30. There is an economic crash every 10 years in this country. They call it the boom bust cycle. It's so persistent that they gave it a name. So what I'm saying here, it can be proven by history, by facts, the fact that time after time again, the government constantly had to bail out this failing economic system that we are living in. And in an era where we just passed $5 trillion of corporate bailouts going to the top of the class, the highest income earners. There are small businesses that are closing left and right. But Nancy Pelosi's husband received Paycheck Protection Program money. You're seeing the giant institutions being bailed out. Meanwhile, here in Kansas City, 1 in 4 children are set to go hungry. How can this not radicalize you? This is the reason why I'm considering primarying Emmanuel Cleaver. Because where the fuck has the Black Congressional Caucus been my entire lifetime? I was going off, and I may have, I made a lot of people upset, but a lot of people also were cheering me on. A lot of my tweets went viral when I was talking about John Lewis and the failure of the Black Congressional Caucus, the failure of Emmanuel Cleaver here in Kansas City. Because I remember a lot of people, when they hear the issue of student lunch debt, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know what that is. And my family never had a ton of money, but I never had to worry about that. But I know people that did. I remember being in line, hearing about it. I remember leaving money at home and had to charge the lunch in order to eat that day whenever I leave my lunch money at home. I remember that. So the reason why I wanted to throw my hat in the ring, the reason why I'm willing to even consider in primary a very powerful Black Congressional Caucus member, despite knowing that they will go after me, is because I hear stuff like this. And people never ask me why I'm as quote-unquote far left as I am. And that speaks volumes to the liberal class. In the liberal class, I always have some sort of malicious intent. I'm some sort of Uncle Tom. I'm some sort of secret right winger, some bad faith actor, because the liberal class, the white liberal class, and the black upper class as well, do not know how to talk to working class black people. Not only do they not know how to talk to them, they don't want them included in the conversation. So instead of engaging us and asking us why I have the policy litmus test that I do, they smear us. They don't engage. Because they know the burden is on them to defend a system that allows 1 in 4 children to go hungry. They can't do it. They can't do it. So my thing is, I'm not going to be civil when I run, because this is a damning fact on Emmanuel Cleaver. Because he's been in charge of Kansas City pretty much my whole life. Been in Congress for a long time, was Casey mayor, part of the Casey council. And after a long career, this is the results. So I'm going to call him on it. I'm going to call him for backing the HEROES Act, the CARES Act. That was the largest transfer of wealth in human history from the working class to the top 1%, to corporations. So when I challenge them, if I challenge them, that is what you can expect out of my campaign. This righteous anger because we have children in poverty. So once again, I saw this at the store, and I'm adding litmus tests daily. I was on Twitter the other day talking about there was another litmus test that I was just thinking about. Oh, abolish ICE. On my Twitter, I made a big abolish ICE thread talking about all the human rights violations that they committed. And now at the end, I was like, hey man, this is my litmus test now, because if you're okay with all this stuff, I can't trust your leadership. Joe Biden is okay with ICE. The Democratic Party props up ICE and refused to adopt this on its platform. Only one candidate had abolished ICE on its platform, and that was Bernie Sanders. And you saw how they did everything they could to stop Bernie Sanders. So my point was, I had abolish ICE on my litmus test, Medicare for all obviously on my litmus test, Green New Deals on my litmus test. But now we got cancel student lunch debt. Free student lunch debt. That has to be on my litmus test. It has to be. Especially after reading this. So, please, give massive props to Ilhan Omar. And this is why I said, and I always say, Ilhan Omar is an American hero. Now, I'm not at the level where I'm willing to prop anyone up more than they deserve. I think we should hold everyone accountable. But Ilhan was the first person who put this on the map in the first place. Ilhan Omar was the first person that was talking about student lunch debt. So when you see right-wingers and neoliberals smear Ilhan Omar, just know it's because this is what it's like. That's their reaction to someone who actually an opposition party. Someone who actually challenges our corrupt system. Someone who's willing to look at something that is super easy and super simple, like student lunch debt, and willing to call it what it is, immoral and inhuman. In the richest country, the fact that we have student lunch debt, you gotta realize that's a political choice by the ruling class. That's a political choice by Mitch McConnell. That's a political choice by Donald Trump. That's a political choice by Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, all of them. Hey Mel, come here. You want me a video? Come here. I don't care. Hey, come here. Come here. I don't care. They know what time it is. And y'all know I've been my sister, my niece been staying with me. And this is why I talk about this issue. This is who I fight for. And I'll be damned if I allow them to continue to prop that up. Hey, say hi, Mel. And with that said, this is Nick, the progressive. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, this is Nick, the progressive martial artist. I just have to do that at the end. Thank you guys for checking me out. Sign out.